Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. As you all know, we are covering the YouTube channel on the subject of that is software engineering. Okay, let's talk about the previous video, like what we have covered up. So in the previous video, we have started the new chapter that is requirement engineering. As I have mentioned into the previous video, it is a very much crucial phase of any software development lifecycle. As we have seen the different phases of software development lifecycle, we have seen the generic software development process framework, right? So in that, the first framework, that is the first phase we were defining, that is a communication, we can say the requirement analysis, we can say the requirement gathering. So that is the first phase is a very much crucial, because on that first phase your whole software development is completely dependent. So you can say these are the pillars of your any your software architecture that is you are designing. Okay, so the requirement engineering, it is a very much important process to applied, that is to be applied to get the proper and the detailed requirements of a project from the user. So we have taken someone client is coming to use to make a particular project. You have to manage the requirement properly. You have to identify the detailed requirement, each and every requirement from the user, so that whatsoever the other phases you will apply, let's say the modeling and the implementation testing, so that at the end of the process, at the end of the software development life cycle, you and your customer will get the desired software. So in that we have gone through the several phases. We have gone through the different techniques, like we have seen that we have chosen the functional and the non-functional requirement. Okay, so this is what about requirement engineering all about. So we have already gone through that. So it may range from the high level abstract statement of a service or the system contract or the contract. So the requirement engineering can be in the different form. It's a one-to-one communication, or it is a document, or you can say it is a written contract. So we have already seen that, right? Yes. So this is a kind of now. So coming into the picture, while gathering the requirement, you have to divide your requirement. Let's say the user requirement, which are the users of the system requirement. Then, like we have taken the example of the Mantica system, we have taken the example of the ERP system. In the Mantica system, the users would be patients, doctors, nurses, medical or receptionist, and the IT staff. Okay, then we have seen the example of the ERP. The users of the ERP will be students, faculties, principal, admin professional. So according to users, the functionality will be changed, the requirement will be changed. So you have to capture the requirement for the each and every user. And similarly, you have the system requirement, like the system reliability, system performance, system response time, and the security. All are the system requirements. So these are the things we have already covered up. Then you have the functionals and the non-functional requirement. Functional requirements, we have seen that describe the functionality of a system. Let's say you want a login module, you want a logout module, you want a registration module, payment module, user module into the e-commerce website. These are nothing but the functional requirement. While in the case of non-functional requirement, software reliability, software response time, security are the non-functional requirements. So these are the example of the non-functional requirement. Okay, so this is the kind of thing we have to take care. We have already seen all this thing into the previous video. Now, so these are the metrics for defining the non-functional requirement, like the speed of the software, size of the software, easiness of using the software, reliability, robustness, and the portability. So these are the things we have covered up into the previous video. So if you haven't seen that, you can check the previous video. Now this is the main focus, that is a requirement engineering process. We also have already seen that, starting with the requirement elicitation, means identifying the requirement specification, requirement validation, once you have the requirement, it's also important to verify the requirement, to validate your requirement, whether the requirement collected is proper or not, it is feasible or not. You have to cross verify with the client, you have to cross verify with the team members, with the stakeholders, right? And the final, you will have the software requirement specification document, or you can say the software requirement document, right? These are the basic things. These are the basic things we have covered into the previous video lecture, that is a requirement elicitation. Yes, this all the phases we have covered. Requirement elicitation means requirement discovery, requirement classification, requirement organization, and requirement specification. Now today what we will see exactly, we will see and we will identify one example of the software verification, one example of the software specification or the software requirement document, that is called as the software SRS document. So here you can see the different phases of text. Requirement elicitation means requirement identification, then you have the requirement specification, you will specify the requirement, then you have the requirement validation. Once you have the requirements collected with you, then you will verify, then you validate the requirement, that whether the requirement is proper or not. You will cross verify with the client, you will check the feasibility study, then you will have the software requirement document. Now you will store this requirement into the one document. That document we are calling as a software requirement specification. Now today we will see a format of this one of the software requirement software requirement document into one of the real-time example of the software requirement document. Okay. So now I would like to give you one type of basic document. So you guys will always, I think you already have, you are using the type of requirements, software requirement specification onto your design engineering project or the 7-semester project. Okay. So the similar kind of, but the detailed real-time software requirement specification for your reference, so that you can able to understand how the requirements are captured and how the requirements are stored. So this is one of the document I have downloaded from the internet. So this is the document for the software requirement specification for online fashion store. So there is a SRS document for the online fashion store. So the table of contents includes introduction, overall description, specification, requirements. See, you will find the functional requirements, non-functional requirements. In the non-functional requirement, you will have the performance, safety, security, and the error handling. Are you getting? So this is the kind of thing we have already seen into this our previous chapter, into the requirement engineering chapter in the previous video. So now you are able to map our theory-based concept into the real-time scenarios, how this are used into the industry, right? Then you will have the interfaces and possible scenarios. So these are the functional requirements, you can say. So let's move towards, initially it is you can say the purpose, like what is the purpose of this SRS, what is the software is for. This is online fashion store, in the short name told as OFS. That is a web application is intended to provide the complete solution for vendors as well as the customers through a single gateway using. So what we are trying to use, we are trying to build up a e-commerce website for the fashion, so specifically for the online e-commerce fashion website. The short name would be the OFS. The document is meant to discuss the features of the OFS. Then you will have the scope. Initial functional requirements will be initial functional requirement will be secure registration. So the first module will be the registration of the user. Then the second feature functional requirement would be the browsing through the e-commerce store. Yes, if I want to search, let's say the t-shirts and the pants and the shoes, then the adequate searching mechanism for easy and quick access. So another feature is when you search something, so that the search should be efficient and search should be fast. Then the creating a shopping cart so that the customer can shop for the number of items. So yes, I need a shopping cart so that customer can put an item into that. Regular updates to the registered customer. Yes, so I have something SMS or the emailing module, like I want to update my regular customer for the new arrivals. uploading of the most purchased items in the each category of products, then the strategic data in the graphs for the administrator and the shop owners about the items that are popular in each category and age group. So I also want on the admin panel side, let's say the who is managing the store or e-commerce store. I want to manage the category wise most popular items, maintaining a database of the regular customers. So I want a separate database for the regular customers. Then shop employees are responsible for the internal affairs like processing orders, assure home deliveries, and getting the customers. So this is a kind of thing I want the exact or tracking of the particular order, exact tracking of a particular order. So this is also then the feedback mechanism so that the customers can give a feedback. I also need a feedback option over there. Adequate payment mechanism, yes, I need a payment mechanism, either the COD, either the online payment and Google Pay and all this thing, debit card, credit card. I want all these functions connected to there, right? So the initial non-functional requirements are secure access should be there, a user's credentials should be put on the security side, 24/7 availability, then the better component designed to get a better performance, advertisement spreads where it will be effectively catch the customer's attention. Then in addition to the above mentioned points, the following points are to be delivered: warehousing within the very ambits, more payment gateways. Yes, I need a more payment gateway, multiple options, PayPal, RuPay, there are so many options, I need a multiple options. Our dynamic price model, each customer can build a scrapbook where they can have the collection of garments and accessories to create a specific book. This list is no means a final one, the final one. So this is the kind of the functional and the non-functional requirements for this particular e-commerce store. Then you have the audience definition, what will be the audience of this system. So there are some acronyms and abbreviations, that is a different point. So OFS means the online fashion store, Java EE will, so they are using the Java as a platform, Java Enterprise Edition, HTTP protocol they will use, HTTPS for the security. Okay, these are the so we are defining the technology to be used, technology they are using, that is a Java Enterprise Edition. Okay, Java XML, JavaScript tools and development environment, which are the tools we'll use. For the Java we'll use the Apache Tomcat server, Eclipse IDE for the development. Yes, this is an overview of the SRS, overall description, product description, what the product will exactly will perform, how the product exactly will perform on that, right? Then you will have the product functions, here where the functionality, exactly features of the function will comes into the picture. See, we have defined that the different users, user requirement and the system requirement. See, we are defining the product functions based on the user. So the first on the user administrator, which function you will use. As I told you, onto the ERP system, a user can be a student, a user can be a faculty, a user can be a principal, a user can be an admin. A student cannot see a data of a faculty, but a faculty can check a data of a student. This is a kind of thing you have to design a system, that fulfill the everyone's which fulfill everyone's you can say the requirement, every user's requirement. So you have to take care for the every user, right? So let's say for the user administrator, the function should be, the administrator is a super user which has a complete control over all the activities that can be performed. The applications notifies administrator. So for the administrator, it should have the whole control to edit, insert, update, delete everything for every feature onto the system. On the user shop owner, for the shop owner, any user can submit a shop creation request to the application when the request. So shop owner can create the shop and manage the shop, but it is not like the administrator, right? And the customer can browse through the shops and choose a product. Obvious, customer cannot add or delete a product. They can browse through the products and can add to the cart and purchase the product. See, user employees a purchase a department under. So it can be the employees. For the employees, you can create a separate, you can say the separate user. which the function would be purchase department under a purchase manager to overlook a purchasing sales department. So according to different department, you can create a different users for the employee. Now there are the user characteristics. Now there are some constraints over the user characteristics. Means the user should be familiar with the shopping mall, the user should be familiar with the internet. Yes, it's fine. Then we'll have the constraints with the condition. There is no maintainability of the backup, so the availability will get affected, limited to the HTTP and HTTPS. Real-time credit and the credit card validation banking system is not implemented. So these are the conditions of the system that are not implemented. They should be there so that the system will work properly. Operating environment, we are defining where it can be operated. Now the specific requirement, that is a functional requirement. Yes, administrator. What an administrator can do: a database management, contacts and giving permission to vendors, view all detail, advertising to the sites. What the customers can do: customers can do login, registration, view and edit down details, choosing and comparing the products, purchasing, giving feedback to customer care. So this is, and logout, yes. What the visitors can do: visitor site and register. See, visitors and the customers are different. Yes, your customers are visitors, but your visitors are not customers. Customers who have bought something from you. What are the regular customers? Visitors, only the random users comes to a website and just goes away, never comes back. So the visitor can only visit without a registration. Yes, register. While the customer, if a customer want to purchase something, they have to register themselves to their website. So this is the, while the visitor does not have to register onto a website. Right now, the shop owner taking a permission from the administrator, consulting with the administrator, advertising vendors on products. Then we have the sales manager. Sales manager view a customer details, managing a sales to customer, view products and all that. Purchase manager consulting with the administrator, product stock management and all that. Account. So these are the different manager roles. Okay. Now we have the non-functional requirement, that is a performance requirements. Performance should be good. Safety, it should be secure. It should be safe to use. Security, system will use a secure database. Normal user can just read the information by they cannot edit or modify anything except that personal. So this is a very important thing. User cannot change anything apart from the personal information. System will have different types of users. Okay, error handling should be there. OFS. Then we'll have the interfaces, possible scenarios, customer interface. So which are the interface should be provided to that? That is a login interface, registration interface, personal data editing, search, add favorites, cart, payment, support, interface for the shop owner. So this is the interface for the shop owner, right? So these are the detailed requirements. So see, are you getting my point? This is the output of the requirement engineering process. This is the output of the requirement engineering process. To collect this type of requirement, that is the reason why we are doing this requirement engineering. Interface for the administrator, interface for the customer, interface for the shop owner, interface for the administrator. So this is the kind of document we need after the phase 1. This is the output of the phase 1, that is a communication, or we can say the requirement engineering. This is where the requirement engineering is a so much crucial thing. Okay, are you getting my point? So hope you are more clear with the phase number 1, that is a requirement analysis. So this is a kind of, so now compare your project definition you are taking into the design engineering and to the real-time project definition. This is the kind of thing you have to apply. This is the kind of thing you have to apply before starting to any project. Okay. So this was all about, that is the requirement engineering. Okay. Once you have the proper requirements with you, also the important part, that is the requirement validation also. Okay, so concerned with the demonstrating that the requirements define the system the customer really wants. Requirements error costs are so high, validation is very important. So once you have captured the requirement, once your software requirement specification is ready, so requirement validation is very much important, because your requirements are not properly captured. If you have put some error into a requirement, let's say a user wants something but you have not captured it properly onto your requirement document, so the end product will be your not desired product, so customer will not accept it. Your whole time will be wasted, your whole money you have invested would be wasted, because you are paying something to your developer but customer will not give you the money, so your money will be wasted. Important, your time will be wasted. In some case you have to pay the fine also on the contract basis. So the validation is so much important. Validity: does the system provide the function which best support the customer needs? So you have to cross verify. What is the output? It is desired on the customer needs. Consistency: are there any requirement conflicts? Is there any what the customer is saying but what you are defining, is there any conflict? Completeness: are all functions required by the customer included? All the features required by the complete, all the requirements are complete. Realism: can the requirement be implemented given available budget and the technology? So this is the kind of thing you have to map. If the customer want which cost more than $10,000 but he is asking you to the $2,000, so it is not a feasible, yeah? So it is not a realistic. So also on the technology wise it is a reality to implement, so you have to check also that. Verifiability: can the requirements be checked? Yes, so this is the kind of thing you have to check the requirement. Then there are the different requirements validation techniques, like requirement reviews. You have to review with the customer, you have to review with your colleagues and all that. Prototyping: using the executable model of the system to check the, you will create a demo, that is a prototyping model. We have checked that and will show to the customer and match the requirement. Then we have the test case generation. You will create a scenario, let's say for user login scenario, user logout scenario, user registration scenario. You will check that test case generation, right? Then you have the requirements reviews. These are the different techniques here available, right? So this is the kind of thing that is very much important. So the regular review should be held with the requirements definition, both the client and the contractor. So the review should be there. So with the customer, let's say what we have like captured, is it a proper or not? The requirements check with the verifiability. Comprehensibility: is the requirements properly understood? Traceability: is the origin of the requirements clearly stated? And adaptability. So these are the kind of things that should be validated before moving to the implementation. Then the important topic, that is a requirement chain. So what happens exactly? Let's say once you have captured the requirement, you have stored into the SRS document, that is a software requirement specification. You have validated the requirement properly, right? The requirement is proper, you have validated the requirement. But what happens, once you have started the project, the client wants to change the requirement. So it might be possible, it might be possible into the some cases of the software, the clients wants to change the requirement now. So your requirement should be managed in a such a way so it can adapt the change. So the business and the technical environment of the system always change after the installation. So the new hardware may be introduced, it might be possible the new hardware may be introduced. It may be necessary to interface the system with the other system. The people who pay for the system and the users of the system are rarely the same people. So this is the kind of thing, the change in the requirement comes into the picture into the future. The large system usually have the diverse user community with many users having a different requirements and the priorities that may be conflicting or the contradictory. Okay, so ultimately your requirement should be identified change. So the initial understanding of the problem, initial requirements, change understanding of the problem, and the change requirement. Okay, so the requirement management should be there. It is like that, requirement management is a process of managing the changing the requirement using the requirement engineering process in the system development. New requirements emerge as a system is being developed and after it has gone into use. You need to keep the track of the individual requirement and maintain the links between the dependent requirements so that you can access the impact of the requirements. Okay, and how you are doing the change management with the problem analysis and the change specification, change analysis and costing, and the change implementation. You have to identify where exactly the change has to be happened. Let's say you have captured the whole requirement, you have developed something. Now the change comes into the picture. but it is possible that changing a one requirement may affect the 10 more requirements. So you have to exactly map how much at and how many places you have to apply the change into the requirement. So according to that, it might be possible, it will be applicable to that, the change will be applicable, change will cost the more cost to the software. So identified the problem analysis and the identification will be done. Change analysis, according to change, the costing will be the, of course you have invested a month of time to develop a software. Now customer is saying that I want to change this, so it is a problem of the customer. So to change this, it might be possible you have to change the 10 features out of 30. So obviously you have to invest more 15 days of time, so obviously you will be costing more. So once you have to identify the change where the customer need a change into the requirement, you will apply the change, and according to that you will cost particular thing to the customer. Once it is done that, then the change implementation will be applied to the end product. Okay, so these are the key points from this whole chapter, that is a requirement engineering. So the requirements for the system set out of what the system should do and is defined. Functional requirements are statements of the services. Non-functional requirements often constrains the system being developed and often related to the emergent. Then the requirements engineering process is an iterative process that includes the requirement solicitation. Requirement solicitation is an iterative process that can be represented as a spiral of activities. Okay. Then you have the requirement specification, is process of formally documenting the user system requirements. The software requirement document is an agreed statement between you and your customer. We have taken the example of the SRS, right? Then the requirement validation is a process of checking the requirements for validity, consistency, and the completeness. Business, organizational, and the technical changes inevitably lead to the changes. So this is the kind of thing that is a requirement engineering. We have taken the real-time example of that also. So thank you very much, guys, friends, for watching a video for the requirement engineering. So we'll meet in the next video. Thank you very much.